What up? This is Devontae from Devontae's Paradise, and we have another brief intro. We got your boy Little Pimp. Thank God I didn't do this brief intro earlier. Thank God. Now, by the time this video comes out, it's gonna be old, so I'm gonna bring this shit back. Little Pimp. Now, again, this is gonna be very dated, so forgive me, but um, he dissed the president. Is gonna be the president now, and because he didn't want to pay extra money in taxes. Now the people came out, and Joe Biden wins. Joe Biden's our president now. There's not much you can do about it. You know, Lil Pimp is a very interesting character. Let's go into Lil Pimp's backstory, right? So, how did he start? Well, Lil Pimp started as a meme. Uh, it was some type of math problem about like 70 miles per hour. I can't really remember it. It's gonna be on archives pretty soon. So I don't even want to quote it because I'm probably gonna say it wrong. So later on, he became big, allegedly from Adam 22, had no jumper, helped him out, and he dropped this. Oh yeah, he dropped the single Gucci Gang, and that shit went everywhere. You know, and what this made me learn about American culture nowadays is the fact that uh, most everybody, it seems like everybody is sad. Everybody's confused and sad, right? So when you have somebody like a Little Pimp or anybody, that comes out with something terrible, we like to talk shit about it. We like to harp on it because the majority of people are sad within themselves. And they like to make fun of it. The problem with that, just like with Kim Kardashian, the more you talk about the person, the bigger they become. That's kind of like looking at a fire and then throwing a bunch of junk into it. You're throwing a bunch of junk on a fire. The fire is going to get bigger. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. If you leave it alone, the fire diminishes. If you guys seen, and I don't want to spoil too much about It Chapter 2, but that's the secret behind Pennywise. And it's very telling. It's a very telling thing because you like to fuel the fire in yourselves, and you like to avoid things. When you're dealing with yourself, you like to avoid things and put things into yourself, but it fuels the fire. It makes it harder for you to come back into reality. But if you were just to ignore a Little Pimp, they wouldn't exist. Then you'd be able to pay more attention to like a Big Crit or a J. Cole or somebody that you guys assume have more talent. Don't get me wrong, Lil Pimp, I like Lil Pimp. He has some songs. But the more that you guys fuel it, you don't think a human being's gonna try to find an easy way to make money and to get in a rap game? Everybody wants to be a rapper, you know? So I just think it's a very interesting dynamic as far as like how America works and how America thinks, and you know, you shit on somebody, and people do this to me now. Now that I got this brand, you make fun of somebody because you like them. You make fun of somebody you like, and you keep trying to bring them down. Deep down inside, you wish you were that person. You wish you were me, but you can't be me. You can't compliment me. It gives me clout. So you keep dissing me. You keep dissing me, dissing me, dissing me, dissing me, wishing I was gone, hating me. Trust me, like, man, there's a lot of shit to this. Just being like a brand and having something going for yourself. People start to change. The people around you start to change. And I think that's why most people are afraid. Deep down inside, because at the end of the day, you're going to start having to deal with yourself. because you're not like the rest. You're like the minority. You're not the majority no more. You're the minority. The majority of people spend their time bringing people down and spending time with people that are miserable. The minority create things, and we're generally happy with ourselves. But I went off. I digress. I went off long enough, and I gave you guys some knowledge. Let's go over the features on this Lil Pimp album. I should call this Lil Pimp. Okay, so we got Smoke Perp, Lil Yachty, Gucci Man, Chief Keef, 2 Chainz, Rick Ross, and I got an Ugly God song, but I think I'm gonna delete it. I'm not gonna do with Ugly God. I don't think Ugly God's going to last. I don't think Ugly God's gonna last, so I'm gonna exit him. I'm gonna get him out of there. I'm gonna get Ugly God out of there. I did like his first album though. I think you guys should check it out. Definitely. Give Ugly God a little bit more promotion. Now, we got his second album, Harvard Dropout. See, now I liken this to. This reminds me of how Waka Flocka started. Everybody was fucking with his first album. So Waka Flocka had to go bigger. He had to go bigger. So he's doing all these big name songs with all these features, but it doesn't have as much style anymore because you're imitating your own style. Or you have to appease. No, let me say that the right way. You have to appease all these label heads now because your style worked first. This happens in every industry, gaming industry, movie industry. There's some golden movie that people worked on in some basement, and the project just so happened to work, and by the time the second project comes out, you have all these other people coming in, but you forget what made that initial project so special. And I have people telling me all the time, switch it up, switch it up. And you guys got to look at Chris Brown and Rick Ross and T.I. Well, T.I. is a little different because T.I.'s done a bunch of things that the new generation don't like. But as far as, so we'll scratch T.I. out. But as far as Chris Brown and Rick Ross, you don't change the formula that you came off the gate with. You just tweak it a little bit. You keep going. You should not allow people to change the formula that worked for you from the gate, from the beginning. That's what people like you for. When you start changing, you start losing a chunk of your fan base. Your fans are the most important thing to you. It's you and your fans. Nothing else matters. Now, let's go over the features. We got Kanye West, Adele Givens, Smoke Perp, Offset. This For Show song is on repeat, by the way. Quavo, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Wayne, YG, and 2 Chainz. Now, another thing. Oh, and I almost forgot this too. Another thing. We got to be careful. Rest in peace to King Von and FBG Duck. These two both had problems with Lil Uzi Vert, I think. Because on one song, and I got to put this out here. This is very important, right? Let's say you have a playlist like mine. You're playing a bunch of music. You have a party. Random people show up to the party. You play a little pump song. Let me see what song it is. I think it was Who Dat. Who Dat. Now, be careful when you play Who Dat. Because Who Dat, Lil Pump drops a line saying he was smoking on Tuka and Calabasas. Now, I forgot. I think it's the Beaties. The Beaties. They lost Tuka. Tuka was killed by the GDs. I believe you can interchange it, one of the two. I just can't quite remember how it went in my head. But Tuka got killed by one of those gangs. So Lil Durk and them. And Lil Durk, you gotta be careful when you play Lil Durk too. I didn't mention that on my other brief intro with Lil Durk. But that Tuka line is a very hot button. It's a very hot subject. And on King Von's recent album, he said something along the lines on his recent album, Welcome to O Block. Y'all think I'm soft playing that little pump while we in the car? So with me personally, I would be very careful playing Little Pump in Chicago. Very careful. Uh, I think I would ban. Don't play Little Pump in Chicago. Do not play Little Pump in Chicago. So you guys can thank me later for that. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe. Is there something I'm missing? Oh yeah, he did an interview with J. Cole. He dissed J. Cole. Um, I just think people that are not in a positive space in their life, it can't take J. Cole. That's like a troll. That's like you know that thing on Lord of the Rings where the Smeagol. That's like trying to shine a light on a Smeagol. When you're used to darkness, J. Cole just cannot be played. It cannot be played. I like J. Cole. I have a balance. Um, it's interesting now. Lil Pump kind of changed the whole direction that J. Cole had to go to, because I'm pretty sure some calls were made and they told J. Cole, "Hey, you can't really diss Lil Pump in the new generation. That makes you look crazy. You know, it makes you look crazy. You gotta do an interview. You gotta apologize. You know, so this industry is this industry is very interesting, very interesting. Uh, that's crazy. You know, anybody can make it. Anybody can get it. Y'all let me know. Blah, blah, blah. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe. Anyway, peace.